The Internet Computer, ICP, is what we're going to be talking about in this video, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to be talking about the colossal task that this blockchain, this third generation blockchain, is trying to undertake. Right now, we live in a digital age. We are communicating, as we speak, over the internet, and pretty much every single individual, institution, organization, company, and government leverages the internet and its stack in some way, shape, or other. Now, this introduces a number of problems and issues, like the fact that you can get hacked. And this video was inspired by some information that has came to light over the past 24 hours in regards to the federal government allegedly being ransomwared and losing, I think it's 33 terabytes worth of sensitive data to this ransomware. This is a problem that gets solved if governments around the world, central banks around the world, companies, organizations, and individuals only wake up, smell the coffee, and realize that you can run a better system, a tamper-proof system that is immutable to cybercrimes on the likes of the Internet Computer. And that is what it is trying to do. I like blockchains that do something different. I've been in this space for a very long time, and I'm sure you're looking at my hairline right now and going, yep, that confirms it. But ultimately, when I see something that has a different vision to the herd out there of, what have we got now, 20,000 blockchains, it really does spike my interest. And that's one reason why I think the Internet Computer is going to be as much of a winner in this technological advancement that distributed ledgers are bringing to the world as it's going to be. Now, there's no guarantees on that, but we're going to be looking at the world of cybercrime, which currently costs around $10 trillion, which I think is something like over a quarter, nearly a third of the US's GDP. We're going to be looking at cybercrime and actually how the Internet Computer, through blockchain singularity, can solve this, because what the Internet Computer is doing is exactly what the name says. It's a very fitting name for this blockchain project. It is trying to basically take the components that make up the internet. And when we think about the internet, we think about this thing in the ethos somewhere, but it's not that. Actually, the internet is a coalition between software and hardware. And at the various points of intersection with this software and hardware, there are backdoors, there are holes, there are things that allow people to get in and essentially tamper with various data or whatever it is. And this is how you see hacks occur. Whereas if you build something on a distributed ledger, a third generation distributed ledger like ICP, it eradicates this. And this is a great awakening that I think we're yet to see. And I think the Internet Computer is in a prime position because this is what it was built to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the price action sucks recently, but we did do a video where we looked and we showed you that this is just a retest. Very textbook after a breakout on volume. You get a retest on low volume before you then see continuation to the upside, which aligns with our broader thesis on the markets. But this isn't going to be about speculating on the price. I know some people hate that we speculate on the price. We don't do it on a financial advisory basis. We do it just because we're interested in doing it. We think it's something that I'm personally all in crypto. My money is in crypto because I think it offers one of the best opportunities that humanity has ever seen. And that's a bet I'm willing to take. Doesn't mean you should, but we also, on top of looking at price as a technical analyzer, as a trader, as an investor, we also understand fundamentally the revolution that is taking place here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we're here to talk to you today about in regards to the Internet Computer. And let's dive into what inspired me to make this video. So this is breaking. Lockbit ransomware group claimed to have hacked the Federal Reserve. Dun, dun, dun. No surprises there. It's not the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last unless they wake up and smell the coffee and start to use these distributed ledgers. They claim to have infiltrated, I think that's supposed to say, 33, although as a dyslexic, who am I to comment on anybody's spelling, 33 trillion terabytes or 33 terabytes of sensitive data. And he goes on to say this is the source. Whether this is 100% true or not is besides the point. People could say anything on Twitter. You know, he is posting the sources here. But let's put that to one side. We see systems around the world. This was posted by Dominic Williams, the man, the myth, the legend himself, one of the founders of Dfinity and, of course, the Internet Computer Protocol. We see consistent messing up in regards to not just hacks, but actually systems themselves, due to the Web 2-esque nature of what they're built upon. This is London Hospital cancels over 800 operations in weeks after another ransomware attack. And Dominic Williams' post here is imagine running hospital systems on third generation blockchains. No more ransomware or data exfiltration. So maybe that is a technological word that exfiltration. I thought it was infiltration, but I suppose X, because your infiltrations, you're going in, X is you're taking it out. So that does make sense. Come on, all in. Blockchain is our future tech stack. Super proud. ICP leads the way, and it does. This is what this video is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Because right now we have a $10 trillion problem, or what's set to become a $10 trillion problem in 2025, and only grow exponentially if things don't change in regards to the current systems that people run their businesses on, that people run their healthcare service on, that governments run on, that central banks run on. We have a problem in the fact that there are backdoors and holes and sort of places to exfiltrate in these systems. You eradicate that if you built it upon something like the internet computer. And back to my point at the start of the video, when I say I like to see something different, so many blockchains out there just position themselves as an Ethereum killer. Well, actually, what the internet computer has done is gone, no, we can take this distributed ledger technology, we can create the internet computer protocol, and we can use it to solve, and this is one problem they're solving, a $10 trillion problem. We can talk about AI all day long with the internet computer. I mean, AI and blockchain, I think, offers about a $20 trillion market. That's still to come. We've got lots of AI projects in our portfolio, including ICP. If you want to find out about that, do become a Patreon. You won't regret it. First thing you've got to do is check out yesterday's meeting. So with the internet computer, they're really doing things completely differently and trying to do a different thing to what many others are doing out there. And I think it's going to work. And what's the value of a protocol that hospitals, governments, companies, institutions, corporations, individuals run their systems upon? What's the value of that? What's the value of the governance over all that? And what's the and what I mean by what's the value of the governance is how important is it to have a say in the governance of that sort of stuff? And this is all stuff that ICP has really well thought out. And I think the problem with crypto and certainly the content creation when it comes to the cryptocurrency space, it's very immature. There's something far bigger than just speculating on price here, although I think it's an important part of the crypto space. Bitcoin, there would be none of the investment, none of the builders here if it wasn't for the price and the speculation of it, in my opinion. Because people do things that they think is going to benefit them. We're all special interests in some way, shape, or form. But there's something colossal going on here, and the internet computer, I think, really showcases that in regards to how they can be leveraged to eradicate ransomware and exfiltration attacks on systems around the world. We just looked at two examples: the Federal Reserve System, the largest central bank in the world, and, of course, a hospital in London. And as somebody that comes from the healthcare industry, when you're talking about healthcare, certainly when the government is involved in it, it's made more people million and billionaires than anybody, because I'm not a big fan of... careful what you say here, all in. I think the government do a poor job of basically anything that they try and do. The reason being is because somebody that is going to directly benefit or not benefit from doing something is likely going to do it in a better fashion. Whereas, anyway, we're way off topic. So this brings me now on to a tweet that was posted. I think this was about the 3rd of May. I read this whole tweet out, actually, because I thought it was so good. I did a video on it. It's interesting because it says the meaning of blockchain singularity. Okay, here we go. We're talking now about how ICP can solve the problems that the world currently faces. The global cost of cybercrimes is predicted to exceed $10 trillion in 2025, which will be 35% of the GDP of the United States. Cybersecurity is becoming a major problem of our time, like war and climate change, and is just one of the key problems that stateful decentralized networks in their many manifestations can solve. Yet few have zoomed out. This is partly because of widespread misconceptions that blockchain networks have fundamentally technical limitations, partly by widespread preoccupation with speculative instruments like NFTs and meme coins within the industry, and partly the difficulties of seeing that pervasive and prevailing challenges like cybersecurity might be solved. However, as speed and scalability, efficiency, and other limitations are rolled back, stateful decentralized networks will increasingly provide a superior form of an alternative tech stack. So, back to what I said at the start of the video. When you use the internet, there's a stack of things that go into that. Okay? And because of that stack and how it's not, it is coordinated, but not in a kind of immutable way like what these distributed ledgers are doing. It creates holes, it creates backdoors, it creates things that people can get through, and ransomware can essentially take hold as a result. So it said instead of building systems and services using server computers, clouds, virtualization, orchestration software, database servers, application servers, web servers, firewalls, anti-malware, and all the rest, humanity will build systems and services that are secured by default, which never get corrupted, which never stop running and need restarting. So Solana's out of the question here. That is a joke. And in the world of Web3, we will build things like autonomous social networks that run under the control of DAOs, that provide transparency and deliver 100% ownership and full sovereignty control over internet communities. Stateful, decentralized networks, blockchains will function as unstoppable, decentralized, and secure serverless clouds where anything can be built in forms that are vastly more secure and resilient. These clouds will also finally provide a route out of the complexity of current IT stacks. This is also important because the world currently spends around $2 trillion a year on IT personnel, who now spend 95% of their time just chasing complexity. Meanwhile, it's clear that an Ethereum smart contract, say, exists within a highly simplified, seamless environment, and, for example, persists its data without the need for things like data servers. Blockchain will become the stack that drives an incredible IT personnel productivity through simplification. Third generation blockchains chase these immense opportunities. It's a new paradigm that sees blockchain as humanity's new IT stack, upon which any system or service can be built with immense advantages. In the future, third generation blockchains will provide unimaginable advances in IT, solving for key problems of our time, such as security, resilience, and IT productivity, which may incorrectly assume are intrackable. As I have shown in a recent video demonstrating, and he goes on to talk about AI, but AI is, we've highlighted the significance of actually having a blockchain that from the bottom up can facilitate a language model, an AI model. You don't see that in the blockchain space. What you see is blockchains that have a crossroad into AI and that can track it and things like this. And that's very important, but the AI itself leverages computing from often centralized systems, databases from often centralized systems that it pays for, so on and so forth. Whereas the internet computer is kind of doing that from the ground up, which is very impressive. We can talk about that all day long, but this was really about the set to grow to $10 trillion problem that the internet computer will inherently solve, and it will do that for everybody. And once these systems get easy to use, they'll become an obvious choice, and that's really what we're waiting for. You know, when I invest in the cryptocurrency space, I do it based on the market cycles, but I also do have the vision that some of these blockchains that exist today are going to be the next Amazon, Google, Facebooks, so on and so forth, multiple trillion dollar companies of the future. So that is really it from me, ladies and gents. I just wanted to get a video out there really just talking fundamentally about why I'm such a fan of the internet computer, how it's actually solving real world problems, which is important. Because if these blockchains are to have longevity, they need to be used, and their usage is going to come from them solving problems. And you can see clearly that the internet computer is doing exactly that when it comes to kind of ransomware and cybersecurity and the IT stack itself, which is any one of these is a massive use case. Both of them combined is huge, and actually it's going above and beyond that with all the other things it's doing. So that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there, ICP holders, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in the next.